What is going on, fellas? And welcome back to another episode of the Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays, on FM22. We are still in charge of BFC dog pills for the time being. I have rejected a contract because they wanted me to take a pay cut, and that is not what we do around here. But today we're taking on RFS, who are league champions in the Latvian Cup Semi-Final, because we've somehow managed to pick up form, and we're actually doing quite well in the cups. But wait till you see the results. It's not been great. We have had our youth intake. Looks pretty decent. At the same time, it is Latvia, so not the best players in the world, but we'll get over that. So if you do want to enjoy this episode, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now let's get into the video. So, fellas, we are taking on RFS, as I said in the intro, in the semi-final. The other one is Valmiera and Lipaja. If we actually make it to the final, which I would be very surprised if we did, we will be taking on one of those two teams. And as you probably remember, we've not done a huge amount this year to make us worthy of getting into the final of anything. But this is fine. As you can see, we are 7th in the league with 5 games to go. We are guaranteed safety, which is exactly what we were looking for. Just avoid relegation, which is what we have done. We're at a B-. We have, not at the best of times. They're quite happy that we've repaired, or we've kind of helped to repair the club's financial damage. I'm not so sure. I'll take it, but I'm not so sure. As I said in the intro, we did have our youth intake. It was all of these people. So there is a Russian centre back / left back who's come in. Looks okay. Physically, not the worst player in the world. Quite aggressive. Has good decisions, good teamwork, and work rate. So actually wouldn't be a terrible box-to-box midfielder. But he's come in. I think he's the director of football, signed pretty much everyone who came through, because we had, I think it was like 8 players in the under 18s. So they just went and signed pretty much everybody. I don't think there's that many players that didn't get signed. This guy is, I'm training him to be an inside forward on the left, because I think he'd be a decent inside forward with the 6 finishing. Physically, very good. Has good first touch. That's pretty much everything he has going for him. There is another centre back. No, Roman's Bice. What I'm going to call him. Physically, again, decent. Has some good mentals, which is quite nice, and has actually fairly good finishing. So quite happy with him. There is this guy. Spazionnikovs came through as the best player in the whole intake. Mentally, not the worst. Quite good teamwork and aggression. Physically, shocking. Technically, can barely play football. But he is the best prospect of all of them, which is, when you see a youth intake like that, and they're like, this is your best player. You're like, okay, thanks. But yeah, since you were here last in the game against Sparks, which we lost, we went and lost 7-1 to Valmiera. We did not play well at all. We were shocking. O2 played in that game, conceded 7. Then against Lipaja, we had a player sent off, and we lost 2-1. Ilens got himself sent off, even though he's having a pretty good game. Then we then went and played a friendly, because it had been quite a while since we'd had a good result, so we played them. I managed this myself. We still only won 6-2. But then we had a cup game against Ventspils, where Benjamin York scored a hat-trick, and Puje got a goal as well, which, Benjamin York getting some goals, which was fantastic, because we hadn't really been scoring too many goals as it was. Thought this form might help. Then we went and played Jelgava at home, got absolutely smashed. One of our ex-players who left in the summer, in the most recent window, he scored the opening goal against us, and we just never looked like doing anything against him. To Coombs, We should have won this game. They came and scored right at the end. I think it was the last kick of the game. We were super defensive, just did not work. Then played another friendly, then had a draw against the worst team in the league, who brought 4 away fans with them. Still managed to get a draw. As you can see, 8th minute and 12th minute, very little happened. Then we played quite well against RFS to lose only 3-2. Cockins with the late consolation goal. And then we had an interesting run where we played Riga twice and beat them twice. In the cup, they played a heavily rotated side. I think there was 2 players in their starting 11 that are normal starting 11 players, but we won the game, which is all you can ask for. And then we beat them in the league. It was a little bit of shithousery, but we did it. We went 1 down, then equalised. Abuka Ona scoring, and then we brought Divine on, and Divine scored twice, which was delightful. So I played him against Meta, and he was shocking. As you could imagine, Divine, not a very good footballer, but we did managed to pull back a 2-2 draw against them and guarantee our safety. We actually only have 3 games left in the league. I have 2 friendlies set up because we needed something. Club atmosphere has increased significantly since we've started picking up some decent results, which is always good. Managerial support is not great, but we'll have to just push on, hope for the best. We do have this guy, Rainier Books, is leaving on a free, and Harald's. Did I tell you what? I told you about Clifford. Probably told you about Dobrikovs. We are without some players today. Well, one very important player today, because of internationals, which is delightful. The Latvian under-21s are playing, so we're without Gatis Udris, our starting goalkeeper, which is fantastic. It's always what you want. Your best player not to be in your team. If that's how they're lining up, we are definitely getting smashed in this game. But I'm hoping that we're not. If we're facing that team, we are in trouble. Gatis Udris is off playing for Latvia. A couple of the players in the under-19s, under-20 or under-18s, and the B team are away as well. But we're not going to worry about that because they're playing for the under-19s. But this is how we're lining up for RFS in the cup. We're going as strong as we can because we have to. So O2 is going to be starting in goal. He's actually picked up recently. He has played 6 games, conceded 22, but he's had 1 clean sheet. So he's so bad. He's so bad. He's so bad. He concedes 3.67 goals per 90 minutes and a pass accuracy of 37%. Why am I doing this? Kukurs, Verschininen, Akpuje, and Illens are going to be playing as our defenders. As you can see, we're playing a cautious direct counter-attack because we've not really been doing great with anything else, and this is kind of working. It's a 4-3-3. Did originally start as a 4-4-2, but our wide players are just not very good. Belovs, Diagne, and Ivanovs are going to be starting in central midfield. Cockins, Ona, and Divine starting up front. Divine just because he's been in better form than York and Emmanuel Peter. So we're going to this game. Verschininen is back from injury. He's kind of in and out of the team since he's come back because of the fact that injury was quite a long one. And William Mukwele, who has decided he's leaving the club, has been out injured with shin splints, I think it is. I don't really care, to be honest. He's been out injured for like 3 months now, and he's refusing to. He's just not coming to training anymore. Just not 100% sure what the point of having him at the club is, but he will be leaving in November, same as myself, probably. The RFS team, this is their first team. We are going to get absolutely smashed. So we're just going to play our way, playing cautious. We've very low defensive lines. Our lines of encounter are quite significantly lower than normal. That was a very interesting long throw. It made it about 4 feet. Cockins gets it across, and Abuka Ona with his 6th goal of the season. I think Cockins has 8 goals for us, and he's our top goal scorer. which if you told me that he was going to be our top goal scorer at the end of last season, I would have been like, well, we're definitely in trouble. Because I would have expected Nordine to be probably the guy who scored the most goals. But Nordine, as you might remember, left in the summer and had only scored twice. Benjamin York has actually been one of our best players. Like Devine went 10 hours without scoring, but he had played so poorly. Halfway, like midway through the season, I just kind of gave up on him. So when he came back and scored twice in that game, I was like, oh, was this, maybe playing him as, that's just far too easy. RFS, given so much time and space. I'm starting to think that maybe Devine is just better as like an impact sub, because he's not amazing, but he does score occasionally. Oh, Cockin's back doing his defensive work as a pressing forward. I've kept him on support. He did play one game on attack and he wasn't great. So bringing it back to support, see how he gets on. Devine, if he'd scored there, I would have been like, well, I made the right decision starting him. Unfortunately, I didn't, because he's still only on a 6.8. It's gone up though. It's gone up to a 6.8. He was down at like a 6.5, which, speak of the devil, Illins was on a 6.5. He's done something to increase his rating. We haven't had any interest from clubs yet, but I imagine it's because our time in Latvia has been absolutely trash. Nothing has gone right. We've gone from 57% win rate to like 45. So as you can imagine, I would suspect that clubs are looking at my form or how we're doing in the current job and being like, well, this guy's actually not that great. But it's, and we can't do any coaching badges because the club has no money. So we are literally just kind of sitting here going, just gotta push on, just hope for the best, just do what we gotta do, and eventually things will come right. They're not really. It's very much a top 5, and then like 6th, 7th, and 8th are kind of much of a muchness, and then 9th and 10th are very like Jelgava. Yeah, Jelgava are the team in the playoff. They're pretty much the 9th best team in Latvia, and they're just going to probably finish in that position forever. So I'm not if we stayed here, I'm not overly worried about us getting dragged into like a relegation scrap with them, and whoever gets promoted is just probably going to be the worst team. So I think it's very much this will be a long-term job. Ona's true, and Abuka Ona with the goal, his 8th of the season. I expected Ona to be so much better than he has been. I've been playing him out of position as well. He's been playing on the wing, and like either wing, quite a bit. He seems to have found his position a bit too late. Discovered that he's actually a pretty decent target forward, but left it just a smidge late to do that. We're going to take Devine off and bring on. I'm going to Benjamin York. I think I'm going to play you as better as an advanced forward. Kukurish has been absolutely terrible, so I'm going to bring on a Jetty, who's a little underutilized in this team. I think anyway. I don't give him enough opportunities, but there's like right back is definitely one of those positions we have too many options. Don't really have enough at left back, which is quite frustrating. And in our youth intake, we had like 3 left backs come through, which just you have to wonder. Like, does the club know what's going on? But that Russian guy, if I was here long term, I think him and that Latvian left back would Ona. Oh no. I do think that Latvia, much like in Canada, quite hard to keep money in the club, because when I did a save in Canada with Valor, it was quite difficult to keep money in the club. We struggled an awful lot to to make money and then keep money in the club. A lot of the time we were just kind of hemorrhaging money and just having to do well in cups that made money for us. I think Latvia is very similar to that, but there's not much money in the cups. I think you do need to make it into Europe if you want to survive. And as it is right now, we're not really in a position to be playing or pushing for Europe. Seeing as there's only 4 spots. Okay, that's offside. That's fine. That's fine. We could potentially, I think, I would imagine it's going to go to extra time. He was quite offside. We will need to make substitutions because we have very tired players. Cockins can come off just because he's quite tired. Benjamin York can be pressing forward. And I'm going to put Peter. What is your... Not the worst poacher. Not a terrible advance forward. We're going to leave him as an advance forward. He hasn't scored yet for us, which obviously not ideal. Akbuje can come off for Boucher. But Vershinen has a better left foot. And that is all our substitutions. Okay. Hopefully we get if we get one more, that'll be nice in extra time. York. Oh, send him off, ref. That was disgusting. Lucas Alves, one of those players that came in the most recent transfer window that I expected. Benjamin York. Oh, so close. I didn't expect him to do an awful lot. He's actually been somewhat important. He's not been like the most important player in the team, but he's been there or thereabouts. We don't get any more substitutes. Fantastic. Belovs is playing quite well, which is nice. Diagne, I'm going to have him just play as a box-to-box and see if he can get more involved. As I said, Lucas Alves as the deep-line playmaker, which I've started playing again. He's actually doing pretty decently well. He's not been standing out as much as players from, was it FM20, when the deep-line playmakers were super overpowered. They'd get like a 7 just for being on the pitch, which was, that was quite nice. For FM21, didn't have a huge amount of luck. I don't think anyone had much luck with playmakers. It wasn't really a playmakers game. But we're gonna not very attacking. We're just gonna go attacking for the final 7 minutes. Although we could wait for penalties, just see if we can go through on penalties, because that's always just a lottery of hope for the best and see what happens. Ona to Belovs. I've actually been playing. I was a Carolero. Not really used a Carolero before. He's been pretty decent. And Ona. Okay. Gonna slow it down. Go shorter passing. Dribble S. Be more disciplined. Still going to distribute to the target man just to try and avoid making mistakes. We're just going to go much lower on everything. I'm going to keep pressing because I don't want to give this up. We only have... It's 5 minutes. It's still 5 minutes. Oh, they have a highlight. They have a highlight. RFS, as I said, won the league. Odu. Odu's actually having a good game. His distribution has been significantly better than that of Emmanuel. He's offside. Yeah. Emmanuel Peter gets his first goal and it's given as offside. Could have been the one that guaranteed us a spot in the... That's close. That's close. I can't remember what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. We're in the final. We've made it to the final. Imagine what would have happened if we'd been playing like this all year. What a performance, lads. We survived relegation, and then the next game, make it to the final of the Latvian Cup, which means one of the friendlies is going to... No. Probably going to play it at the end of the season, I would imagine. Carolero. Not really been playing with a Carolero. It's kind of working. What is it? Shuttler? Or Shuttle? player that shuttles the ball around from in midfield. That's actually not that bad of a role. Then again, none of our midfielders are actually very good at football, so you know, me. I think I didn't see the result, but I'm imagining that Valmira are the team that have made it to the final. So we'll be playing Valmira, which means we'll play Riga, RFS, and Valmira. Top 3 teams in the league, in the cup. 3 best Latvian teams, and we're going to be playing all 3 of them, one after the other, in the cups. Fantabulous. This is taking far longer than I wanted to. So we're going to come back in the next episode, probably our final episode, with BFC Daugavpils to play the final of the Latvian Cup. But if you've enjoyed this episode, do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with all of your friends, and I will see you in the next one.